No elections in sight, of course. Going by history, if it was during the late Michael Sata's time in opposition, by now you'd have seen him aggressively engaging the general public. With the seemingly high cost of living, volatile exchange rates, sporadic fuel shortages, and high fuel prices, you would see him regularly carrying a container going to a fuel pump. Pictures are there of him riding public transport just to have a feel of an ordinary Zambian. The same can be said about the incumbent, President Hakainde Hichilema. His time in opposition would brave the political intimidation and oppression for him to have an encounter with the majority Zambians. He was countless times thrown behind bars. He soldiered on in an effort to liberate Zambians rather. And you would say these are individuals who needed it most. However, the situation is different today. Somehow, citizens would want to agree with the sentiments that there is no opposition. The opposition is dead and buried. As a political party, are you in the game now?
We are in the game and we are in tune. I want to state that the opposition is not dead. If the opposition was dead, you are not going to call me here. You would have been calling the same new PND. Because you would have known to say, no. The fact that you are able to call and want to host us, it means, you understand, you are already seeing which political figures are newsmakers in the country, which political figures...
At times people would call on political leaders. Probably they feel they may be sleeping and they're not up and about to try and engage the citizens.
What I'm telling you is that, look, we've already put, I've already put measures. We've already put measures in motion. We have applied toward the mobilization rally, which we may have if we are given a go ahead by next week. That is in Zingarume ground. We want now to get to the ground. I made that pronouncement, and for me, I believe in being proactive. We have to be proactive. We need to get to the masses and begin to tell them. They need to know the agenda that we have. We cannot continue to be
like I said when Mr. Chanda, the time is taking.
12, we've applied for 12. We are hoping that the bar of the democratic space in the country will rise, and we are not going to be restrained from holding a public rally, but we want to hold that rally next week at Mchinga ground, and we have done the application. I'm sure by this time the letter has been submitted to Matero police station. So I want to state that we are ready. You understand? If you are able to see, look, the example that I can be able to give you, winning a by-election in an area where the member of parliament is a provincial minister of the province called Northern Province, and is an area MP for the area, and we go and grab a seat from his ward within his constituency. That tells you to say NCP is a formidable force. So, for your own information, contrary to the views that there is no opposition, I have told you, the greatest opposition that the UPND have today are the Zambian people. And we are simply the conduit.
We've heard those sentiments time and again.
We are now availing ourselves to the Zambian people that we are the alternative government in place. Because the idea is to give the Zambian people the alternative government. And that political party which is creating that alternative government, which is a government is in waiting, is NCP and its alliance members.
If you've just joined us, this is the Platform Radio program on JFM Radio 92.1 FM, and I'm talking to the president of the New Congress Party and Tonse Alliance partner, Mr. Peter Chanda. And today we are discussing the future of Zambian opposition in view of the 2026 general elections. Among the issues being discussed this morning, the general perspective of the opposition in Zambia. Is there hope for the current political alliances to deliver an election victory in Zambia. The new Congress Party's role in the Tonse Alliance. Will Tonse Alliance survive the current turbulence, or we are yet to witness another failed political alliance project in Zambia? Let us continue with this particular discussion. Mr. Chanda, political alliances have become a common trend world over, and Zambia is none exception. Some of which have succeeded, while some have failed. Speaking to success and failure, there has been political alliances in Zambia back in the days, but from my memory, one I can vividly recall is that of the late Michael Sata and the incumbent President Hakainde Hichilema, which hit a snag, and that of the 2021 UPND alliance, which brought about the change of government. Fast forward, we have the United Kwacha Alliance, UKA, which is seemingly questionable stability and its existence rather, and now the Tonse Alliance, which you pride to be part of. Notwithstanding the ongoing controversies, before you speak to the controversies in the Tonse Alliance, going into 2026 June election, is there hope for the current political alliances capable of delivering an electoral victory in Zambia, especially at presidential level?
Well, let me state one thing, and I want to quote what Dr. Freddie Mimbi stated. A successful political alliance, I'll give an example. European PF in 2016 was in alliance with about 16 political parties, and we won the 2016 election. Owing to what fact? We all acknowledged the comparative advantage that the Patriotic Front led by ECL had, and we all respected that. And if you followed my address yesterday, that is basically my call. If we are going to succeed as an alliance, the issue is we need to embrace the concept of mutual respect, and at the same time acknowledging the comparative advantage of each and every political party that is within the alliance. Now, for Tonse Alliance to succeed, and I'm confident that the turbulences that have occurred have taught us lessons that people are able to react. They've taught us lessons as to the expectation of the Zambian people and the Zambian youths. They've taught us. So in everything you learn, and that's the most important attribute of a leader. So we have to learn. And what are we learning about this? The Zambian people want us united as opposition. But in that unity, we should acknowledge two things. Number one, stand by the resolutions that we made. Number two, understand each member political party's comparative advantage. Now, the comparative advantage of the Patriotic Front is that it is the largest opposition political party. Yes. Now, I'm talking about the Patriotic Front faction led by ECL, which is left the leadership in place with the Honorable Rubinda and all the members of parliament. The comparative advantage that they have is that they are the largest. They have a bigger number of members of parliament. You understand? They have councillors, they have mayors across the country. So the structure base of the PF-led faction, which is led by Honorable Rubinda at the moment, has that comparative advantage. And going forward, if we have to succeed as an alliance, we ought to respect that. Whether you like the person or you may not like the person, we ought to respect that. And PF, together with its members, must respect their leadership and submit to the delegated authority that they have. Number two, we have NCP that was chosen by, that is in Tonse, I'm giving you an example, yes. That was chosen by ECL, together with the Central Committee of the PF, and together with the Council of Leaders of the PF. And NCP has been sold to the country by virtue of being the vehicle through which candidates have been slotted on. Therefore, that is the more reason why you find that at the moment, many callers and many people, they are saying, you cannot depart from what we've been selling to the people. Unless we want to betray the legacy of ECL. So the bottom line is, when you look at NCP, and I know I'm here speaking as the president of NCP.
Yes.
I'm giving
and
you
the Tonse Alliance
this,
pattern, of course.
I'm giving you this as a comparative advantage that NCP has. In the first instance, when NCP began to participate in an election, like let's say Kawambo and others, we had a very cumbersome, which was difficult to explain, symbol, to which passionately the former president urged me and gave me an ultimatum to say, make sure that you resolve the issue of the symbol. And today we can be able to state that NCP's comparative advantage is that we have the most cerebral symbol, which is Umupando. We campaigned in Chibulula Ward, Mpurungu, without any single campaign material. But we were able to tell our people to say, Imwe kuya munafe pampando. You understand? So that is the comparative advantage that NCP has got. The danger of alliances failing to work only comes when people with egocentric motives and when people are engulfed with the envy and jealousy, and they fail to acknowledge the comparative advantage of what we call as the anchor party. You understand? What we also call as a special purpose vehicle, and they want to have their own preferred special purpose vehicle, which has not been sold to the people of Zambia. That will breed what we can be able to say, that will be able to lead to what we can be able to consider that Tonse Alliance will be able to fail. Now, let me tell you the reason why Tonse Alliance has been able to thrive. At a stage of formation, I was the first member of Tonse Alliance. I resigned from UKA. I was not expelled from UKA. I resigned from UKA owing to the fact that there was disrespect, some measure of disrespect that was being channeled at the former president. There was some measure of lack of recognition. And as I explained yesterday, I went to the former president and said, look, we've come a long way and I can't sit and see people, watch people disrespect you. I am of the view that we launch the NCP-PF Alliance. And I'm ready to write a letter to you so that you are able to stand as presidential candidate for NCP. And that was agreed. Before we could do that, other colleagues like Zumani advised to say we form Tonse Alliance. So I appreciate the role of our consultant, who is Comrade Zumani, who looked at the best practice of alliances in the world and came up with a Tonse Alliance. And when Tonse Alliance was formulated, the terms of references were formulated. We're about to launch. But I want to state again, I'll be able to cite this because these were the words exactly coming from President Sean Tembo. We cannot launch the Tonse Alliance without the PF. By then, Comrade Sean Tembo and Dr. Daniel Pule were expelled from UKA. You understand? Owing to the fact that there was a misunderstanding there where they didn't want President Peter Sinkamba to be part of the Council of Leaders. And they decided to expel UKA. So intolerance and lack of consideration of the comparative advantage of other political players and lack of mutual respect is what has killed UKA. And today UKA is not a subject that you can even talk about. You can't even talk about it to be a formidable alliance. It has cracked because of what? Lack of tolerance and lack of recognition of.
Could this be what is going to be said about Tonse Alliance soon?
I'm just giving you an example.
Yes.
I'm just giving you an example.
Yes.
Tonse Alliance will soar above that. Because I can tell you that from yesterday and others, we are all now agreeing. You were the Secretary General of Tonse Alliance who talked about, we are going to resolve these matters amicably. And I know I'm going to be meeting the other players that I know that they want to pull things on the other side and get the rationale behind the decision to begin to discuss some of the resolution that we already made. Now, the issue here is whether Tonse succeed or not, there is already about 17, because we are about 23, 23 organizations beside eminent people that constitute what we call Tonse Alliance. 17.
Those are political parties in the Tonse Alliance. Okay.
17. They are already standing with NCP as a special people's vehicle. You saw how many people sat to address that brought out the list. There were just 6 of them. And within those, there were only 3 organizations. There were only 3 political parties. You understand? Within that. So basically, politics is a game of numbers.
Yes.
You understand? So political alliances do work, but they can only work, and this is my advice, they can only work when the concept of give and take is, you understand, is put on the table. When also the concept of understanding and respecting the comparative advantage of each member political party, you understand, is put on the table. Then we can be able to say this political alliance will work. UPND alliance worked because all other alliance partners acknowledged to say UPND had a good number of members of parliament. And in terms of resource base and all those, meaning they were able to lead. So we cannot be able to bring out, a situation where the alliance should be led by anyone. You understand? You don't go into the game of politics in that manner to say we are all equal. Do you know that in the United States, it's 2 political parties that feud, but there are several political parties that are registered in the United States. But several political parties, and they are silent with that because they agree. You understand? Several political parties rally behind the Republicans. Other political parties rally behind the Democrats. That's why you saw that it's a toe-to-toe battle where 2 political parties, but there are several political parties that have formed that are in alliance with the Republicans, that are also in alliance with the Democrats. Then I'll give you an example of the South African scenario. You understand? DA came together when they reached a standoff where they could not, because they have proportional representation. For Cyril Ramaphosa to form government, they came together in agreement with the DA. And what was the cut? There was nothing like the DA saying we are all equal. No. DA acknowledged, Democratic Alliance acknowledge the comparative advantage of ANC led by Cyril Ramaphosa. And what did they do? Cyril Ramaphosa provides the president, he provides the vice president, they provided the finance minister and other ministers. You understand? And they entered into that pact. How many ministers did DS second with the numbers that they brought? Only 6. Together with the one who their leader, who is the finance minister of that country at the moment. And the other smaller political parties, they only seconded 3 or 2. But because Cyril Ramaphosa has got the bigger chunk of MPs, they've got a comparative advantage of having led in that election, unless there's a toe-to-toe. So now, when you begin to see people beginning to bring selfish motives, is what kills the alliance. But I want to state that with what I've said and what the Zambian people are expecting, I want to state to say political alliances, the politicians in the country at the moment, they have no choice but to come together. You heard what Comrade Chifumbanda said. We have no choice but to come together. And we will reach at that point. At the moment, Zambian people should watch us brand. When ututuma tabira nsezu tunono tulia fitafine turanda muchibe mbati miti mpalamene ibula kweshana. That is healthy because we are having these turbulences now. Going forward, they'll be able to know to say, if I do this, Peter Chanda will react like this. If I do this, that one will react like that. If I do at the end of the day, we'll respect each other and come to the table and move forward.
President Peter Chanda, they have got no idea of what transpired the day before yesterday. Let's speak to what is currently obtaining in the Tonse Alliance. There is seemingly a brewing leadership animosity or controversy, and this is happening at the backdrop of what I would like to describe as a leadership vacuum after the demise of the Tonse Alliance chairman, former President Edgar Lungu, who is yet to be entered. I don't know whether to say may his soul rest in peace, because up to now, there are these struggle of courts and everything else to just have him put to rest. Now, most recently, the day before yesterday, like I did inter earlier on, the Tonse Alliance was expected to hold a council of leaders meeting, which ended up in confusion. Please take us through what was this meeting all about and the events that unfolded thereafter. What really happened?
You run a company, eh? Let's say you run a company. For instance, I'll give you an example.
Just an example, yes.
You have the board. Of course, I know you are the one giving me the question, but I'll be saying and giving the answer. Of course, you know that it is only the board secretary, after liaising with the chairman, who has the mandate to call for a meeting. Here is a person who is not among the council of leaders, who was an advisor to the former chairman, the late chairman, comes on board, gives himself a position which was not given, and he calls for a meeting.
Which meeting?
The Tonse Constitution is very clear. A meeting can only be constituted by the chairman urging the Secretary General of Tonse Alliance to call for a meeting. We unanimously resolved and agreed that we have the Tonse Secretary General, and Raphael Nakachinda was announced as Tonse Secretary General. What is the role of Secretary General? Is the rapporteur. Is the one to convey the message from the chairman to say, we're having a meeting on such a particular day. That meeting was called. That was an act of rebellion.
Meaning that meeting was called and
it was
part
an illegal
of
meeting.
Members were not aware of the meeting.
It was an illegal meeting. We talked about it. But at the end of the day, we got calls from several stakeholders to say, please, in the spirit of unity, go and attend. I got calls from respectable members of parliament. Please convince the team, the team, to come. We need to come to this meeting and harmonize. And we went to that meeting. I moved that motion in the meeting because an emergency council of leaders meeting was called by the Secretary General. We went and all attended. We were about 18 of us the first day. And I was the mover of that motion to say, I think in the interest of unity, unity of purpose, let us go and attend that meeting. And unanimously, others apart from 3.
Were you privy to the agenda of the said meeting?
The agenda of that said meeting was, number one, they needed to discuss the issue of the special purpose vehicle, which I'm talking about, which the Zambian people, the moment when they set that agenda, the people across the country began to rambast them. The agenda was to also elect a chairman, which is contrary to what we had agreed in the onset. We had agreed when forming Tonse Alliance that we PF shall be the anchor party. The chairmanship belongs to the Patriotic Front. And moreover, I can be able to tell you that there were metrics that were made to assess the comparative advantage of each political party. The consultants that we had in terms of allocating the seats for the political parties, more seats were allocated to the PF based on the comparative advantage of having members of parliament, having councillors, and having whatever. So even if we go to a general congress, PF will still produce a president because they are the majority. I think NCP was allocated, by then we didn't have a member of parliament, was allocated 7 seats at the general congress. owing to the fact that I was presidential candidate and the other political parties had 3 seats and the like. So we looked at the comparative advantage like that. But today to try and begin to shift, to say no, we are moving away from what we had already originally agreed that PF should be there. Me, I'm not jealous about anybody. I know my position. I know the party's position. You understand? And in life, I believe it is important to submit to the delegated authority. So now, we, in the spirit of whatever, I moved that motion and it ended there. The people, including Honorable Winda and others, agreed to go and attend that meeting.
Among the agenda...
Now let me tell you, what annoyed the people or the youths that came to offer solidarity, to just give solidarity, was that the meeting
and others are saying those youths were just sent to go and cause confusion.
The meeting was scheduled to take place at Palm Valley.
Yes.
But instead, President Sean Tembo took it to his private residence. The question is, what was the agenda? So, for me, I can end there and say that matter now is water under the bridge, but that's a clarification that I can give to the Zambian people. What agitated the youths, according to the messages that I was listening as they were telling us to say, this meeting you are not going to take place because you are not giving us the direction that we need. The youths, if you look at their message, there was no casualty. They didn't beat up anyone. They didn't manhandle anyone. Like somebody was arranging, you know, you fail to understand where somebody goes to write and a very senior lawyer in the country to write to say Sean Tembo was almost manhandled. I was there. Those people just said, all of you Chokani Apa, you are not going to have meeting. All of us literally were chased out of that. All of us as council of leaders. They said you can't have, go and sit. You know, we had agreed to the rules of engagement. What constituted the Tonsarans were the rules of engagement. Now, you cut me when I was trying to tell you to say, President Comrade Sean Tembo was on hand telling us to say we cannot launch until PF joins. PF had to sit with their members of Central Committee. And they said the humiliation we are facing in Uka, we don't want to endure it again in Tonse. We are coming. If you want us to join Tonse Alliance. In fact, they wrote 3 letters. PF Secretary General and the Central Committee wrote 3 letters to 3 organizations. That was the United Kwacha Alliance, giving us the same rules of engagement, 14 rules of engagement. They gave to the People's Pact, headed by Peter Sinkamba. They also gave to Tonse Alliance, which was headed by the interim chairman now, Dr. Dan Pure, who is vice chairman. We were quick to accept the rules of engagement, that PF shall be the anchor party, that PF shall provide the chairman, presidential candidate, and the running mate. Why should we talk about now we want to go to a general congress to elect a leader? The issue of presidential candidate was already settled. It was given to ECO. Today people are twisting to say no, it was given to ECO because he was an eminent person, he was a former president. He was the president of the Patriotic Front. We did not engage him as just a former president. We engaged him as the leader of the Patriotic Front. And that's a truth that I want to state, and that's the reason why I made an announcement yesterday that I'm not going to participate in any of the meetings going forward. I'll focus on putting the party in motion, in readiness, because if I'm going to dwell within this, it will derail the focus of putting NCP, making NCP ready to face the general election.
Speaking of NCP, making NCP ready to participate in the general elections, one of the agendas that, according to what you've said, was in the meeting that was called, was choosing a special purpose vehicle as we go into 2026 elections.
Now,
do you feel you were threatened by as a political party that they may pick another political party?
I had an intel that some of the members are not comfortable with NCP. But that is contrary to what the Zambian people want. That is contrary to what the resolution. Now, the resolutions were made. You understand? And announced 18th. On the 18th, maybe I send those resolutions. If you have a WhatsApp, I'll send those resolutions so that you call President Sean Tembo and come and ask him, why were you talking about choosing and approving a special purpose vehicle when in the presence of ECL you made resolutions that NCP is a special purpose vehicle both for now and the future.
All right. Mr. President, we should be in the next few minutes picking the calls just to get to hear from our listeners and viewers. One of the leaders in the Tonse Alliance, Mr. Chris Zumani Zimba, whom you said is the position is...
He was a consultant.
The consultant, right. Yes. Was at some point facing legal issues with former Vice President Dr. Nevas Mumba, and he was later remorseful by reaching out to Dr. Mumba, who is in the alliance with the UPND. For you as one of the Tonse Alliance partners, do you think his indulgence with Dr. Mumba would somewhat compromise his association to the Tonse Alliance?
Well, I will not speak about that. He's my brother. But I believe the Bible says to err is human and to forgive it's divine. I'm sure he mended his
I ask this question because he was among the people in the other group that was scheduled to organize that particular meeting that was that brought about the controversy.
Well, I want to state, I respect your question, but I want to state Comrade Zumani and me share a very close bond. He's my brother. So I will not bring his personal confession to Dr. Nevas Mumba or whatever into context. The only thing is that I pointed out, I called him, because for me that's what I do.
Yes.
It's only President Sean Tembo doesn't pick my call. You understand? But I called Comrade Zumani immediately that agenda was whatever, and I said, look, we can't be validating, we can't be coming and if you want me to come to a meeting where you have to talk about NCP, I'm an interested party. I can't be there. But at the end of the day, others called me, members of parliament. I have a lot of respect for Honorable Brian Mundubire, and he urged me to urge the others to come. But what pained the youths to cause that disruption was taking the meeting to a private residency, as if we are trying to endorse somebody to say, okay, you are now our leader, you are now, Panganda Pamobe, you are the chairman. De facto, whether somebody, when you want me to come Panganda Pamobe to come and do, you are chairing. There is no way I can come and chair the meeting if I'm the chairman Panganda Pamobe. A meeting of a corporate nature at a private residency, no, unless both parties agreed that, oh, look, we have failed to find a venue. You understand? Mutually agreed. So I will not dwell into Comrade Zumani. He's my brother. I can tell you we share a close bond with him. If I have a matter with him, I'll discuss. When I see that, okay, I have talked and whatever, that's when I'll even go to the media, because I've seen him go to the media. Then I will say, okay, let me respond also because he's gone to the media.
Let's quickly look at
his issue. I want to commend him for having gone to Dr. Nevas Mumba and patched up things. You know the issue. Munia Zulu is inside for criminal labor. You understand? So basically, when somebody tells you Munia Zulu was given the same amnesty, please withdraw by both the Honorable Msokotwane and Honorable Mirupi. Please withdraw your statement within 48 hours. He refused, and where is he? He's there. So that issue, for me, I can say 1 6 peace. And seeking peace, and the Bible says peacemakers shall be blessed. So I want to state that Comrade Zumani is my brother, and I cannot bring his personal matters in this. I cannot make, if we have heard of any accusation, I will tell him to say, Comrade Nanga Ivanamvera, and you tell me Baba, he calls me Baba. Baba, we sit, we eat together. I go to his home sometimes, spend the whole day there, we are talking and all those. His family knows me and we know each other. So I cannot talk about Comrade Zumani's personal issues on this.
Absolutely. Let's quickly look at your role as NCP in Tonse Alliance. We understand each and every political party represented in the alliance has a role. What is your role as an alliance partner? Is it just about being the special purpose vehicle?
No. You see what? Just the issue of being the special purpose vehicle. It's a huge task.
Responsibility, yes.
It's not a smaller one. your conduct and your activities and your sentiment have to make everyone comfortable. It's not a small thing. You lie low even when you are expected to exhibit your strength. So that is not an easy thing. But I want to state that I want to thank the late president, ECL, for having put this responsibility on my shoulder and for having chosen, together with the Central Committee of the Patriotic Front as well as Council of Leaders, for having chosen NCP as a special purpose vehicle. I believe in being humble, but at the same time, people should not take my humility as a weakness. I can be bold.
You can be lethal.
I'm sure you saw how I came out yesterday, but that's a fact. I believe mutual respect is key to all members of the Patriotic Front, and I want to advise even my elder brother, Honorable Brian Mundwil, and all the members of Parliament that I saw making statement just condemning one side. I want to urge you, brethren, condemn an illegal call for a meeting first, whilst you also condemn. We need to be fair. You cannot go on one side attack. Your 5-6 MPs ganged up to attack the youths. No, they did. Those youths did not beat up anyone. They simply told us, Council of Leaders, to say, what you're doing is bullshit. You are not supposed to sit like this in a kangaroo meeting where you come like finish panganda. Go to the secretariat and meet and iron out issues. Give us a leader. You understand? This is what they are crying for. That's why I urged the Patriotic Front to put their house in order, because those members of Parliament who are speaking and condemning those youths, those are your youths. Those are the youths from the Patriotic Front. What you need to do is go sit down. You know, we have leaders, we have members of Parliament who cannot go to meet their acting president. Let me tell you, by virtue of somebody holding the office, respect them whether you don't like them or you like them. Push your agenda in terms of pushing for your preferred candidate. That's why, for now, I can be able to say is that I've withdrawn from performing in any roles within Tonsa, and I've stated, I said it very clear yesterday, my focus now will be to ensure that we prepare NCP, because once we are derailed in these whatever, we are not going to make progress. But right. I can tell you, NCP is a very flexible and neutral entity within Tonsa Alliance, and my core and my goal was to make everyone comfortable. But if the tendency of continuing to disrespect the wishes of the former president continue, I have stated to say sorry. You understand? NCP will navigate its way. If we are going to move on, you understand, and announce the NCP ECL's alliance, we will go like that. You know, that's a thing. But the issue is, let's all know that there are these comparative advantages that we need to look at. There is also a time that we have to look at. We do not have the luxury of time. We are remaining with less than 300 or less than 300 days for us to go to the polls. We are supposed to be talking about galvanizing resources, raising resources, branding the special purpose vehicle, not to talk about having another special purpose vehicle. How are the Zambian people going to look at it? We are smashing ECO's legacy even before he's buried. That's hypocrisy. And for me, I'm not a hypocrite, I can tell you. Me, if somebody offends, if you offend me, I'll look into your eyes and tell you to say, look, bro, this I don't like. My style of leadership, even in Benishon Tembo, he knows. I've never had an occasion with him. When something is not right, I'll simply ask, comrade, what is this? No, but you talk, sometimes he cuts a line. Those are things. At the end of the day, you know, with a comrade, we cannot talk. But with Comrade Zumani, we are brothers.
All right. President, tentivere kuombesera muzuwa muno kuseni kuno. If you've just joined us, this is the Platform Radio program on JFM Radio 92.1 FM, and I'm talking to the president of the New Congress Party and Tonsa Alliance partner, Mr. Peter Chanda. And today we are discussing the future of Zambian opposition in view of the 2026 general elections. This conversation is about Zambia's present realities, and among the issues being discussed, the general perspective of the Zambian opposition is their hope in the current political alliances to deliver an election victory in Zambia. The new Congress Party's role in the Tonse Alliance. Will Tonse survive the current turbulence, or we are yet to witness another failed political alliance, of which some of the questions he has responded to say Tonse will come out of this issue clean. And the lines are officially open for your questions and contributions on the program. Call us by dialing the following numbers: 0977-165-743, 0977-165-743, and 0953-323738. Just as earlier indicated, the 097 number is also on WhatsApp. In case you are unable to come through due to traffic or network failure, please drop us a text or voice note, and we'll be able to play it for our guests to respond to you. Your feedback is very important. Remember to indicate your name and the location you are calling from, and I urge you to be civil in your language as you make your contribution on the program.
The views and opinions expressed are of the callers and listeners and not Joy FM Radio.
Let's get to find out who our first caller is this morning. Hello, good morning, and welcome to the platform.
Yes, good morning, moderator. How are you?
Good morning, thank you. Your name and we're calling from, sir?
Thank you very much. You are talking Mr. Chinda, Southern Province, Mother District. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Ibrahim Majera Mdara. Thank you very much for letting us amine makambira zona. But in Africa or in Zambia, tumafuna strong opposition. Yamba tufuna. So, imwe kuriso ama youth zatuza ko branch because tuona vamene vafuna kumenyana vafuna mupando mmozi vantu vari 10 ngati ni 5 manje imao branch amene mungapozese vama youth vamene vabwera kumbuyo because twaona umonga kumenyana funa mupando then tufuna ko manifesto ya Tonse Alliance tiona then Tonse Alliance tuona umonga niyosira kudala inga kwanise kuchosa UPNZ ni patari so tuenze kupempa kuti imwe wamuna muzazikonde vaningi mukazifaka ko asende mwafaka vakazi manje vakazi problem jameni niona chate ni vamanda olo wamaya vamuvipiri asende chate vachitabwanji na wafaka chate noti ni wamuna kumbe vanga.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Chinda. We've gotten your point. Thank you so much. We appreciate your call. All right. Let's try and bring in another. That's Mr. Chinda from Monze. Hello, good morning. You're through to the program. Ndu amutende va chamalan. Chani uko mbakalamba.
Chani wapita chanda weso.
You know, Chani.
Na totaka na wesa. Leo chamalan kuno kuzinga lume. Ichakubalira bonde mikoseresha muri bana bakwalisa. Iyo motoka ya NCP ni motoka ya bena Zambia balefu aya balubukiremo pamona Patriotic Front Tonse na papa mwishari ya kwa Yesu Kristo ulonzo ulefu kulete chimfurumfuru na chitwale kumanda kumiyakwe pantuwe ale ikutaleli emiku 6 times. One majority Zambians are suffering. Right now as I'm speaking, Wakalamba, to I got more black out, not the shedding wanted to pay 3 hours for PF. Abakula bakolimu labeko. I'm afraid yanunka fechinunke nunke. Abana abatanke machito pantu. Abakampantale kwani kama fuel hook pasta emergency. Ila trefa yoku bonte yomotoka. Chiri chakwebati. Mweba ni kuntanshi ikachanyeni. Nga pali umoro babiri na bafumeko. Dewa ngalo waba icheyo. Dewa ngalo waba yabali yabeka mu matumba furukutu no. Iyo motoka yaiko kwebalanda. Lesa mupale bapita kanda bamone vumba lyenu lyonse. Tuli pepelela ukoba tiresare na imwe.
Twatotele bacha. Cheers, Mambo. All right. All right. Let's pick another, then you can respond. Hello, good morning. You're through to the platform.
Hello?
You're through to the platform. Where are you calling from?
No, I'm calling you from Ngwelele, Chongwe constituency.
Ngwelele. Your name is?
Mr. Piri.
Mr.?
Mr. Piri.
Mr. Piri, please go ahead and give us your contribution or question.
Yes, our President Chanda Bwanje.
Nili bwino muli bwanji.
Bwino. President Chanda, wanaweza kuna ukamba hapo, kapena ni advice. Toza lanzi, wambiri ndala endekeza background pa. So mativishi ya yongati ya mbamanja, pa time sila kudara. So you need to sit it down first. Mwone mpenge solution, mwone mzende toza lanzi, because hapa so far, inatimanda background. The majority Zambia anagamba titenda na tona. Tena kamba mu confusion so nshikudoka nimza tupeleka. Andi mwa samsangale selfish. Mwana mkambira pita Chanda, yonse malidi ya zamtose mkamba tuwanda vutika. Once mkanga selfish, then sometikonda we are not fighting for us. So sit down, mwe ma politician grand pansi, mpeza mekibo solution yani Tanzania isewanda choke mu mavuto ya pende anatifakamwa. Then update and yes, the part NCP anagamba ni driving vehicle ya chana. Is chepo ino but vanenga kustela advice. Iyo kamba timkaende pamweka. You are not helping us. Please, viraze nani mtosa alliance.
Zikom.
Vanenga kambira kudala tigedrani. Chateso nafongala PF. Ngani panzi vijanga mnapanga kapani maruzi kapani chanu ramfuno kukonga. Then simple zika stretch forward.
Zikom wapiri.
Fura wangala panzi popanga meeting so that zingitendra pamoja because the ground kiri potembele zae mbati showing ati tenda kuti.
Zikom wapiri. Zikom. All right. Let's bring in another. Hello, good morning. You're through to the program.
Hello.
Good morning. You're through to the program. Your name and where are you calling from?
Mwamba bwali akasoro.
Wale tumila kusaba.
Tumila kuroka bangwe.
Mwamba ukaba.
Katawa president mwalinda sana mu studio.
Twalinda fe bwino mwefu mulishani.
Mkwai. Awe. Natufufu mulondolere. Ifwe tima radio callers batonse.
Mkwai.
Mkwai mwafyashi.
Mkwai mleo.
Chabulanda. Kula mfwa unturundi sechitika mutonse alliance. Mkwai. So ine pepo jaja kwa sulofo kumina bali bu president. Mleo mfwa. Muchika alapo mundurofo kuiminina. Then two tendero mbako vakateka. Ndefa munga suka question day kushamleo mfwa.
Mkwai.
Any meeting atapati.
Oh, we lost you, Mr. Mwamba. Try and call us back if you can. But for now, Mr. President, you can respond to the four callers. Mr. Jinda from Monze, Chama Alan from Singalume, Ngwelele, Mr. Piri, and Mr. Mwamba, whom we just lost on that line.
I think all of them, they've said one thing.
Yes.
And that is a call for all of us as political leaders to get united. And I want to give that assurance that I'm one person that believes that Isio wanted us all united. If you remember the day he returned back to politics on the 28th of October, he announced and said, he called all of us and said, let's come together and save democracy.
Right.
The role of us as leaders is to provide leadership. But if you have Tamanu Mamburwa, I've taken note of all the advices that the people have given. And I want to state that hope all our friends in the alliance, they are listening. The Zambian people are looking for hope. That's why I said we cannot sacrifice the child who is supposed to provide hope to the Zambian people on the altar of hopelessness. For me, yesterday it was guidance, and I simply stated to say we have those of like-minded that believe that we have a duty to honor and respect Isio's legacy. We have a duty to save the Zambian people from the current high cost of living, load shedding, from the current economic downturn which they are going through. We all need to come together. But let's come together with sincerity, where we understand our comparative advantage, where we understand to say at the moment which vehicle has been sold, at the moment which political party, whether they have papers or they don't have. We cannot begin to insult the Patriotic Front led faction that they do not have papers, they don't have a political party, they can't do this. We embrace them on that premise. And this is the advice that I've given to many people that have come to me. I said, look, I stood up. We as New Congress Party, we stood up to stand with ECL because we could not sit down and watch him be humiliated. Right. In the same vein, I will not sit back and watch people humiliate the leadership that he had put in place. At the same time, I will not sit back and watch the leadership that ECL put in place sideline others. What I'm telling you is what I have done. I have gone to the acting president Walwinda and I've told him on several times, advice to say, please sir, meet President KBF, meet President Sean Tembo, meet Comrade Zumani. Of course, he was able to meet, the acting president was able to meet Comrade Zumani. Meet all other players, even his own people like Honorable Brian Mundwire. For me, to the PF, it's a core of unity. That's why I urged yesterday, put your house in order as the Patriotic Front, because Zambians are expecting leadership. And that leadership, you understand?
Yes.
The weight of who should be a leader, the weight of who should, if PF will have to choose a leader from outside its own rank and file, it has to take the PF leadership. That's how Tonse is constituted. It has to take the PF leadership itself and its central committee and unanimously its general conference to say, oh, we are electing another person from outside the political party, from outside their organization to stand as the
Let's make the last set, of course, then we can conclude the program, Mr. President. 0977-165-743, 0977-165-743, and 0953-323738. Hello, good morning. You're through to the platform radio program. Va Devi? Okay, na barande mkwae.
Antonio mwanzo walishwete.
Antonio nali mwisho.
Malishiwa matizo wa birwa tenda numbie namwishiwa.
Ai, mutumanje bali mbanje bele fimbi.
Ekeni be amatizo bala ndire wa Antonio mwanza. Ero ba design numbie bala ndirachi. Na design numbie kuda party progress ya kutoa ya kongolezi kida electricity ni shima president bali design ngamuli chama mpaka. Atapata commitment ile monegati numbie kuchiba ya convention so chimwe tabo kwa hivyo watu walina tabakirao. Yonte kwa walanda wapakira wadana na pia video donate party na pale uli wiki kwa convention na watu wali kipira indalama ama 200,000 but there's no one who is willing to go for a convention. Kama nakata so ile ya mayamo confusion mwezi tima wala ni mwe mlema na baada ya tatu jana na beshiwe mwa kupota wapi party mwika respanda kina ilitawalepo tazemo bepo tazemo mwaguleti kimokuta mtu wa kusimamisha matapo kushia abantu balete kama itia hii kwa naga so mwika kani ipotele kwa kiranja bombe.
Let's try and bring in another 0977-165-743, 0977-165-743, and 0953-323738. Hello, good morning. You're through to the platform radio program.
Hello, sorry, Dr. Miyachibongwasi.
Nabangu fanya kufia mkwai.
Mkwai. Tata wa chanda wa president.
Mkwai.
Sisi ndifo kumitasha kwa kuwa ikirisha. Then chimbesho ndiro mbako inenda tumafoni ta ni tonse radio kora. Mwenyeumfa.
Mkwai.
Mkwai. Necho ndiro mbako mu tonse alansi. Chakwe wachi. Bachakuti ba given ubinda. Eva president wa PF na tonse Teofili. Kwa ndifa munja sike. Ine wa tonse uwo nsoka wina konga. Meeting wa katika. Kwa kuteka meeting without the president and the general secretary.
Takwaba, that's what I was saying.
Mkwai na tasha pa kunja skefu. Sasa ndio mbako konka se procedure. Yako bate. Kuina ama election ofu kwaba. Ino nale bomba nali mwito. Kwa mna mwimina mwite but wale fanga sema tu kapena yanga datu na ngavi. It's up to you to campaign. Ndio ofe mwafya. Na everyone na newe kuna kama ambao wala kasoro na mimi na prapen. Ndio ofe. Democracy ofe mwafya.
Ba mwamba weso twatotela.
Mkwai.
Chisma mkwai. 0977-165-743, 0977-165-743, and 0953-32373. You're through to the platform program.
Hello.
Good morning, you're through to the platform program.
President.
Ndife buno muri cyane.
Ndi wa mtende katishibena ni bana ni kwisoko.
Na wachawe tukawanda Lusaka.
Bachali tukawanda from Lusaka barande pamkwai.
Inafa ikasema chinyanja.
Bakambe.
Mwana tani za tenida bachape. Okay, quite alright. Banga kambati ya Tonsa Alliance wa performing achani yako tibakweli wa win my election. Baya mnani partisan but nza kamba baso. Nikaona nikawangana chema ningi. Kulibe opposition ya papakali paneli strong ya meninga tose kwa UPND. Wewe vichemenzo funa tizoro wa tose UPND. Hivi vamenti nge problem ili mu Tonsa Alliance aliyense asuna ankali president. Aona ndiye chako cha vote cha mine cho ndisi za vote ndi sila za kwanisa. Tembe wakala pansi wapanya mfunde umozi wa sakitia mundu okokoroka. Amena za ngilila watu wa muziwe pamene hapa. Mamansi ya sila kutara. Hapatika sipenda mamansi sima hezi manji. Saa zoe masta chape uyafuna ingilila president kulibe banewa zaenda. Ndiye pamena pele.
Zikomo kwa mbili wa Charity. Let's bring in one last call, then we call it a day. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning. Mwakabwanji.
Tao kabwina mwakabwanji ni bandani niko tuko.
Neko sinda una banda sala.
Banda kusinda kamba point vele.
Bona ilikebe bwino Tonsa Alliance ilikebe bwino zako. Izawina 100% yakuti mujana kuzira chakwera. Jabeneza ngalira bamdala. Hii ni bomu. Opposition ndise bantu. Oloko namana mizala bozo bakamutani kubibe opposition. Opposition ndise bantu. Mwana vile kujidika ba odishedi ni etu arikia anja yusiri ya sefuri tena kwenda ndoso. Nishibati ndibwandu kunopi. Mafuta bwana una daily pa nyumba basi. Basi ukakapo tena wakala chama. Are you serious? No. Opposition iliko mnara ndise bantu. Mafuta zikati dilidayo. Izao na votera propisa tukazi hapa tutakale mafuta 1,200,000. Oza wakati ya tatu opposition kulinde. Opposition ndise bantu. Takwela makapo tukuliko opposition alikuti. Alikuti chakwela. Alikunyumba likale ni foma.
Zikomo banda.
Zikomo kwa mbili. Sasa ni bwino mzinga.
Yeah, wa banda. All right. Okay, let's try and bring in one last call, then we can wrap it up. Hello, good morning. You're through to the platform program.
Good morning. My name is Musenge from Mazabuka.
Mr. Musenge from Mazabuka, quickly give us your contribution.
Mr. Chanda, the PF you are associated with had a chance to rule, but it drove the economy into the ground. They contracted an unsustainable debt, closed the mines, and halted the developmental projects. They introduced toxic policies. Now, I want to find out from you, as a citizen, not as an opposition leader, what is your interest? What is your interest? Is it about development and good governance, or is it to bring back toxic law of the thief? I thank you very much.
We appreciate your call. Thank you so much. President Chanda, we have less than 2 minutes before we conclude. You can respond to those calls as well as concluding.
Well, let me just thank everyone that has called. I think in the spirit of providing checks and balances, the people have answered. The lady who said there is no opposition, there has been an answer from the second last caller. Then the statement that the big man is saying, currently Zambia is sitting at an unsustainable debt threshold. PF in 7 years borrowed a particular amount, which is similar to the amount that the current government has borrowed in 3 years, let's say in 10 years, that has borrowed. PF did some road infrastructure and others. We have visible projects that we can be able to see which were done. But the question is, there has been huge borrowing under this government, and there is no room for paying because they've restructured the debt. So as we come to form government, just know that we have a huge responsibility, but we are equal to the task. To the Zambian people, we want to state that we shall restore mineral road task to ensure that Zambia collects the revenue from the mining sector, from our God-given minerals. And the money, the proceed from that, we shall ensure that we subsidize on fuel to cushion the pain and the suffering of our people, so that transport ikachipe, so that fertilizer ikachipe, ubunga bukachipe. Once you reduce on energy, movement of goods and services becomes cheaper. We shall ensure that Zambia has got electricity for good measurable hours to ensure that we reactivate all those private power stations that have not been working. This government is not investing in that. But I want to state that I, for one, am so passionate about renewable energy. And I was one of those under my company who was supposed to set up the first, what we could have called the first waste to energy power plant.
Quickly, Mr. President.
So the next government, which will be the NCP and its alliance partners,
as you're concluding, let me just give.
We will definitely focus on reducing the cost of living for the Zambians.
Let me just bring in this message. It was very important. Good morning, given Piri Kwa Georgie. My questions are: when is the Tonse Alliance going to have a convention, and what message are you telling the Zambian youths?
Well, let me state to the Zambian youths, just know that you have a branding of experienced politicians within Tonse. You have also a branding of new politicians like ourselves. And some of us are youthful by nature, we're youngsters. So we shall definitely take into account the pride of the youths. And I want to state, it's about understanding and knowing how to do things. The challenge that we have now is that Zambia has had misplaced priorities. We are not going to focus our energy on arresting people when we are supposed to arrest the economy. Then secondly, New Congress Party will be going for a general conference to prepare the party in readiness. Tonse Alliance has got what we call a general congress, which is supposed to take place. And the PF, you understand, has got also the mandate to hold its own, because now we lost the father of the nation. They've got an internal program to do to ensure that they elect a leader. Once they elect that leader, then we have now what we call a Tonse General Congress.
President Chanda,
so the issue is that the party
presence.
NCP is not tied to the Tonse General Congress. NCP has to do a general conference because Tonse is not a registered political party. So for the Zambian people, you know that the party that you are going to vote for on the ballot, should PF not get back its papers, its New Congress Party, that is the political party of your choice, that is the people's choice, and that was ECL's choice.
Great. We appreciate your appearance on the program. All right, your participation has undoubtedly contributed to a meaningful and informative discussion. We have been talking to the New Congress Party President and Tonse Alliance partner, Mr. Peter Chanda. Today, we were discussing the future of Zambian opposition in view of the 2026 general elections. And among the issues that were being discussed are the general perspective of the Zambian opposition. Is there hope in the current political alliances to deliver an electoral victory in Zambia? The New Congress Party's role in the the Tonse Alliance, and will Tonse survive the current turbulence, or we are yet to witness another failed political alliance project in Zambia? I've been your host. My name is Maidon Kilalo. Do join us next week Monday for yet another exciting edition of the Platform Radio program. God bless you. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed are of the callers and listeners and not Joy FM Radio.